He was just 25, a young soldier with no suit, no experience, and no fear. Valentine Strasser didn't plan to lead a nation. But in 1992, Sierra Leone was on fire, and the people were desperate for someone, anyone, to stop the bleeding. So, he stepped up. But the world wasn't ready for a man like him. This is not fiction. This is the story of the youngest head of state in the world, a story of rebellion, betrayal, and a forgotten African leader. Strasser came from nothing. Raised in Freetown, he joined the army as a teenager. While most 25-year-olds were still finding themselves, Strasser was leading a military convoy into battle. Sierra Leone was drowning in a brutal civil war. Rebels were terrorizing villages, and the government was failing. Soldiers like Strasser weren't getting paid. Their boots were worn out, their rifles rusty, and their patience thin. So on April 29, 1992, he did the unthinkable. Strasser and a group of young soldiers drove from the front lines to the capital. No one stopped them. No tanks, no resistance. The president fled, and just like that, the country belonged to them. Strasser became head of state at 25, the youngest in the world. The streets cheered. People called him a hero. He promised to fight corruption, restore peace, and end the war. For a moment, hope returned to Sierra Leone, but the reality of power hit hard. International leaders didn't trust him. African presidents saw him as a child with a gun. Western powers refused to support him. The war dragged on. The economy crumbled. Inside his government, his own allies began plotting. And just 3 years later, he was betrayed. In 1996, Valentine Strasser was ousted in a bloodless coup by his own deputy. The same young men who followed him to power had now turned their backs. He left the presidential palace with nothing. No pension, no protection, no legacy. Years later, photos surfaced of Strasser living in poverty. His leg amputated, his body aged before its time. A former president, now forgotten. But here's the truth they don't want to say: Strasser didn't fail because he was young. He failed because Africa's systems were already broken. Because international support was never designed to uplift leaders who didn't play by their rules. Because some revolutions are never allowed to win. Valentine Strasser is more than a cautionary tale. He is proof that power can be stolen, borrowed, or forced, but never owned without cost. He was a child of war, made into a king, and discarded like a shadow. And in the silence that followed, Sierra Leone kept bleeding. His story is a mirror, a reminder that sometimes, the youngest voices carry the deepest scars, and their stories should never be forgotten. Follow and repost this video for more African and Black stories.